I want to turn to my right and welcome our in-studio guest. Loved him in the movie Horrible Bosses and so much more. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Fantastic show. And now Amazon Studios' I Want You Back is available for streaming right now on Prime Video in time for Valentine's Day week. It's Charlie Day. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
So you're strangers who meet each other just after you get broken up with by other people and you're trying to get revenge for each other.
Absolutely. Look, it's a classic romantic comedy setup. You know what I mean? It's just typical rom-com stuff. And I always think, all right, I'm doing a rom-com. Where do I go? A sports show. It's just this natural, smooth, but no, honestly.
You're fantastic, Charlie Day, man. I got to tell you, man, Charlie Day here on the Rich Eisen Show. We just saw a clip of I Want You Back. But go ahead. To explain to everybody what this bad boy is about.
I love this movie. Yeah. And by the way, I don't know if you care about reviews, but the reviews are raves. And
fantastic.
Yeah, for me, that's rare. Except for Sunny. People like Sunny. But it's just a romantic comedy. I meet Jenny Slate. We've both been broken up with by our exes, and we say, hey, let's lean on each other to try to win them back. And some comedy ensues, some romance ensues. It's a great date night movie, but it's just also wickedly funny and a good story.
Right. And so, but you also find out through social media that your exes have since moved on.
Yes, which is something I never had to experience. I was never
good for you, Charlie.
Dating in the social media age, and I don't think I would have handled it well. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough out there.
Because you used to find out that people broke up or in high school or college through, just usually just talking to people, not like in the palm of your hand. Because
you had
somebody
to do it you might get a phone call.
You could do that?
Yeah, you might get a phone call. And you had to pick up because the phone was ringing. You didn't know who it was.
Right.
And then you found out you were broken up with. That was probably the most ruthless way, but it was face to face. That was the way to do it.
Yeah, I like it. So you're not your typical, as you were just pointing out, you're not your typical romance affair, but it is kind of a nice Valentine's Day type movie that you got going on here, right?
I think it's a great movie.
Excellent.
I think people enjoy it, whether you like romantic movies or not. In fact, I've had a lot of people, speaking of social media, reach out to me and saying, I don't usually dig romantic comedies, and this is the favorite one I've ever seen. So, I think it's good.
Fantastic. It's streaming right now on Prime Video. Jenny Slate, Scott Eastwood, who's a very handsome man. He's in this film as well. So it's a good cast, the whole thing?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Mr. Eastwood, young Mr. Eastwood.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, not old Eastwood.
Yeah, that's okay. Either way, Eastwood is a fantastic name. And I Want You Back Again is available for streaming on Prime Video. So did you see the Super Bowl this past weekend, Charlie?
Oh, yeah. I did see the Super Bowl. And I did the most responsible thing I've ever done.
What is this?
I got myself a bunch of non-alcoholic beer because I knew I was going to want to watch beer drink beer and watch Super Bowl.
Yes.
But I had my kid and I had to drive home and then I had to get him up early for school.
Oh.
And so I was like, you know what? And it felt just the same. Huh. But then when I got in my car, I was like, nice. I'm not going to get arrested, or kill my kid. This was it was a good move.
So it's a win-win.
Yeah. So that's the sign of getting old. And I like the game. I like the game. A couple calls that the pretty obvious face mask they didn't call there.
Oh my God! He damn near exercised.
How do you miss that? That's I could see maybe something where the ball isn't, or where there's a pack of guys.
Yeah.
It's just two guys there, two face masks, 4 hands.
100 million people at home.
100 million people at home. Everyone sees it, but I don't know. It's all we get the luxury of they play stuff back, they slow it down, you get a bird's eye view.
Right.
I'm sure it's happening so fast, but how do you miss that face
I don't
mask?
know. That was pretty horrible. And then, I was there, and Jalen Ramsey, who was the guy who had his face mask damn near ripped off his helmet, he just gave the only reaction that you could, because normally when somebody doesn't get a penalty called when it's obvious, they'll go nuts.
Yeah.
He just went, like the thing that we said on the show there, he looked like that John Travolta gif from Pulp Fiction, kind of which way do I go?
Is this what we're doing now?
We're just going to let people get face masks off?
Yeah.
That's all he did. So where were you? What's the
just
Charlie Day Super Bowl?
So I just went to a buddy's. I was invited to the Super Bowl, but I got a wife with a broken wrist right now, and she's out of commission, so I'm in dad mode, solo dadding pretty much most of the time until she heals. And so I had to stay home with the kid, but we went over to a buddy's house. They got a son his age. That Some of my boys are running
a little
around.
play date situation.
Yeah.
While the dads watch football.
Well, the dads and one drinks fake beer and watch the Super Bowl.
Okay. Have you ever been to a Super Bowl, Charlie Day?
I've actually never been to the Super Bowl. Yeah. Is it all it's cracked up to be? Like, I kind of like being at home. I like that I get to watch it from home.
Well, the thing is that now with the new stadiums, like the one here in Los Angeles, there is a monster-sized television set that's hanging above the stadium. So you kind of get a little bit of that. You don't get the commercials. If you're into the commercials, if you like those, if you think those are funny, you don't get those in the game.
No,
you don't.
I don't think they're funny. And I've been in them. I've been in them, and I'm like,
which one were you in?
Not this year. I was the year before. I did a bunch of like commercials for Tide, but I'm always like, man, they're never great.
Including yours?
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. Fine is good.
Okay.
I went to a Cowboys game.
Yeah.
That is the biggest Jumbotron I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I could barely see the field.
There was the one Super Bowl that was there, and I'm watching the game on the TV, and I think to myself at one point, I'm like, I am so lucky to be at a Super Bowl. Why am I not watching the actual people? Why am I watching it like I'm sitting in a living room? It's just... Your eyes just go straight up to it.
If that thing drops, I don't care how many helmets these guys got on. Like, that's it. You got a squashed team, 2 teams.
You don't need a concussion protocol there.
No, you don't. You're out. You're off the field.
Yeah. Hopefully, that doesn't. But and now it hangs so low, like punters actually hit it with the football, like that happens. But this new stadium. Have you been to the new stadium here?
I'm not. No.
It's amazing. It really is just.
I felt sorry for Odell coming out of the game not getting to be. There's a piece of me, and of course, what do I know? But that's thinking like, do you not try to like tough it out? Like, you're standing, you're moving around. I know, like, what am I talking about? I'm not, I can't take it. But this piece of me is like, this is a Super Bowl. This is the game.
Yeah.
And if you can move your legs,
yeah.
Don't you get in there? But I guess he was out.
Is that what you say to your wife with the wrist injury? Is that what you say to her right now?
No, but only because I'm scared of her. I don't know Odell, so
You're like, Odell, your knee's hardly attached because of, that ACL thing. Why don't you get it out there? And your wife's sitting at home like, you got to take the kid because my wrist is broken.
Yeah. You're not going to the Super Bowl. Yeah, she didn't say that. But I don't know. Get in the game, man. Finish the game.
Charlie Day here on the Rich Eisen Show. So, what's your favorite DeVito story? You got one that you can lay in? I know we've talked about Sonny here on the show before with you, but we had DeVito here one time, and it was one of my favorite segments and just conversations because I could have gone in a million different directions with him.
Were you able to follow what he was saying?
Well,
because DeVito talks DeVito. I can translate it now, but
you can.
It's like a 70s thing, like these guys, where he like gives you half sentences, like, all the guys jack, plus you get a little coke, and then boom, it's a party. Go. Like, what? What are you saying? He's like, I was there, but then they do the whole thing. Actually, my favorite DeVito story, although this is not one that I was present for, was he told me a story about. He's like, Charlie, I went to this one party in the 80s, and. I walk in the party, and it's like cocaine everywhere. I'm like, all right. And he goes, they got everybody's name spelled out in cocaine on these glass tables. And, there's mine, DeVito. And then I look over, and Schwarzenegger's eyes are like, he's smiling because his name's like 30 miles long. He's like, look at this, Danny. Look how long my name is. That was my favorite day. Yeah.
Was it script or was it print? Do we know? I mean, was it
cursive? I think. Yeah.
Very much. That's impressive.
That's an artist.
That is.
Yeah. That's how I imagine it, but probably like razor blade lines or something. I don't know.
There has to be something up with that.
Yeah.
Well, he confirmed to us that he does in fact have most of the time a trampoline around him. Like he likes to trampoline.
Oh yeah.
Is that a true story? Or
he has a trampoline in his backyard, and I have seen him on the trampoline.
What is it like to see Danny DeVito on a trampoline, Charlie Day?
It's like, dropping a bowling ball on a trampoline. Seeing it bounce around.
I don't know. I just think it must be the wildest thing.
You know what? We could all learn something from Danny because he's his mid-70s.
Yeah.
And he's pretty like mobile, athletic. Like the stuff we make him do on Sunny.
Yeah.
We put this guy through the ringer. We like he's tearing out of couches naked, and we're like crashing him through windows. And
how'd you get him to do it to begin with? Did you need to twist his arm a little bit?
No.
Or what,
Yeah, it wasn't until like the last few years where he's like, "Hey guys, maybe this one, I keep my shirt on." We're like, "All right, fine, Danny." But no, he's just game. He's down
always
for
been.
whatever.
I love it. Charlie Day here on the Rich Eisen Show. Okay, so now what's your handicap these days? What do you got for me?
Well, it's going up, but I'm at a 5 now.
Ooh.
But I was down to a 3. I got down to a 1 for like a month, and I was like, "This is no good," because I can't bet anyone anymore because I'm gonna lose. But I had a few like even par rounds and a couple under par rounds, and I was like, I figured the game out. And which was the dumbest thing ever to think, because now the high 70s and the low 80s have reared their head back in. But
Did you really think you figured the game out at some point?
Yeah. I thought, okay, well, if I just keep a square, my club face fairly square through impact,
Yes.
and just keep turning through, and then just avoid double bogeys and try to 2-putt where you have, and then make the occasional birdie. That's it. And then you go out one day and you're like, I don't know where the ball's going.
That's such a jacked up game. It really is. It's just so mental.
It's so mental.
So mental. And like my favorite story about this was years and years ago. Dan Marino, tried for the U.S. Open and missed. I guess as an amateur or what have you, tried, missed it, couldn't make it. Almost did, but didn't. And his quote afterwards is he didn't think he had the mental sharpness that was required. And I'm like,
Marino.
this is a guy whose job is at one point in time to spot where Mike Singletary is, to make sure that he knows pre-snap what he might do.
He's got a 300-pound man running full speed at
That's
him.
what I'm saying. Like, and to know, like, he needs to make sure his receiver that was planning to go right this and then that, and now he's going to do this and then that, and make that decision prior to a snap as a clock's ticking down. That guy says that he needs to have a better concentration level for golf, and it's just like, what the hell?
It's guys like that. They're used to being reactionary in the moment, right? Someone's coming at them, they react, and golf has so many moments of stillness, right?
Yeah.
It's you over a nervy little chip or putt, and your 4 buddies standing around, and you don't want to be embarrassed. But I do think the better the more reactionary you make it, the better you're going to play.
Right.
Which is hard to remember to do, but kind of make it like target oriented, which is like, all right, there's that tree over there. Just get the ball over there. There's that side of the green. Just go for that. Mm-hmm. And same with chipping and putting, but it's real easy to get in your head and be like, we're slowing up the group behind me, or we just played through someone. It's so much about like ego and embarrassment. Like that's what messes you up.
Who's a guy you'd watch more than anybody right now? Who's a guy you like on the tour?
Patrick Cantlay.
How
Nerves
good?
of steel on this guy.
Last year he was lights out, right? I mean,
that playoff
down
against
the stretch.
Bryson, did you see that? Him and Bryson?
unbelievable.
Out of control. And it's just that, right? It's like you hear him talk about it. He's like, I try to get athletic with it. And just, it's a focus thing. Where Bryson is very technical and he's great at it, right? He's got all these numbers in his head and he stands over ball and he's like, he's doing like pie charts and
Right. I know. Then he'll just bomb it and say, I'll just deal with it when I find it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Like it's so I don't get it. Like sometimes he's doing like the beautiful mind stuff in his head.
Yeah.
And talking about this arm angle needs to be 1 degree in a different direction.
Right.
And then sometimes we'll say, screw it. I'm just going to bomb it. I'll find it and then we'll figure it out from there. All I got to do is if I get it on the green in certain length and a certain spot and 2 shots, I got a shot here.
I think 9 times out of 10, you're going to hit it better when you do that. And then also when you finish your round, you're going to be like, I had more fun because I was out there being a little bit more athletic and less sort of calculating. But I don't know. Then you bomb it right into a tree and you're like, damn it.
Do you like a beverage out there? Do you do that or no? Because you got to focus.
It depends on the game. Like if I'm playing a pretty serious game or we got some money on it, I probably, unless I'm playing like crap, and then beer might help. But
the swing oil.
yeah, it depends if I got somewhere to go. But I like a beer at the turn.
You do.
I do. Yeah. Well, you don't.
I'm not as serious about it. So I'm just depending on if it's 5 o'clock somewhere. I'm going for it.
Yeah.
I'm not a beer guy, so I'm gonna go like vodka. It's like straight.
Yeah.
Certainly if I'm not driving home, I'm just going for it. And I might be useless by like 14 or 15.
Yeah.
Not bombed, but I don't have that level of concentration.
Well, the place we play, and I know you play there,
Yes.
you get a drink there, they're going to pour it real stiff. There's been a Bloody Mary that snuck up on me there where I was like,
It was bloody.
I can't come home for another 3 hours. I'm so sorry. I've made a mistake. I'll take a nap in the car.
Oh man, I was so bad when I tried out there. Thankfully, I got in. I was so bad. I don't want to call him out on the air, but he was, he's part of the deciders. He said to me at one point, he goes, we have tennis too.
That sounds like
That's how bad it
guy
was.
whose initials are BL. Is that right? Am I right? Right guy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you know I know that because he told me that because I had a
told
case.
you the same thing?
Yeah, I had a case of the Shanks for a while, and I was just like,
That's his stock line. Well, I'd never heard that one before.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's tennis too. Thankfully, I'm in.
I'm worse at tennis, so yeah. That's gonna be real
I don't have the
ugly.
concentration level. That's why I talk about it for a living. Charlie Day, I Want You Back. It's available on Amazon Prime Video right now. It was released last Friday. It is available for everybody just in time, again, for Valentine's week. Great to see you, Charlie Day.
Yeah, good to see you, too.
You're the man. Let's do this more often, and I'd love to, now that I'm done with football, tee it up if you're around.
Yeah,
If
hit
you're
me up.
available.
Let's
Okay,
play.
Let's do it. At its_Charlie_Day on Twitter. Why?
That's not me. I'm not on Twitter.
That's not. You're not on Twitter.
I know. That's an
Oh my
imposter.
goodness! Are you on Instagram? Or you're not
I am on Instagram.
At
Yeah,
Charlie Day Official.
probably.
All right, screw the social media.
Yeah,
Everybody
screw
go
it.
see I Want You Back on Prime Video right now with
That's
Charlie
the way.
Day, Jenny Slate, and more. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.